Welcome into this week's edition of the Co-Lin Coaches Show. Joining me first is our head men's and women's soccer coach, Tom Cosgrave. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me as always.
Coach, obviously a week where you were up and down with both teams. You went 1-1 with both teams, winning on the road at East Miss. We'll start with the girls first. They won 2-0 and then lost 6-1 to Pearl River. Your thoughts on the week overall?
Yeah, it was. I think the scoreline was pretty tough on Friday. I thought we'd done really well in the first half, keeping it 1-1. But second half, just a couple of mistakes and a couple of things didn't go our way. But that's what we had the conversation with the girls afterwards, that there's no easy game in this league, and we've got to make sure that we're staying concentrated for the whole game. And if we switch off for 1 second, these good teams are going to punish us, and we've got to do better going forward.
And, the good news is that you did get that win on Tuesday. You got that one 2-0. Your thoughts on that one as well? You're able to open up with a win. And you look at it, yeah, you lost on Friday, but right now you're 1-1 in conference play, and that's not a bad place to be.
No. There's no easy game in this conference. On Tuesday, even at East Mississippi, they made it really difficult for us. They've got a lot better this year. Frustrated us a good bit, and so at halftime we talked about a few things that we needed to fix to make sure that going forward we can be a little bit more clinical. And it was nice to keep a clean sheet and get 2 goals in this conference play.
So you look at that one. Christina Seymour with that goal takes the ball off the foot of the Lady Lions defender, makes it 1-0 in the 38th minute. That score held through half, and then the second goal came in the 60th minute. Connection we're hoping we'll see a lot more out of. Nimaweka Trayer crosses the ball into near the top of the box to Lisa Johnson. She finished it off there, and that made it 2-0. Just 2 really good goals for you on that one.
Yeah, the first goal was a great strike from Christina. She's had a really good season so far coming in, just carrying the ball out from the back, and there was a bit of time and space, and she hit a long distance shot. It was a great strike, good goal, and at halftime we talked to the girls about what we wanted them to do going forward, get the ball down the line, get crosses into the box to Lisa, and I think 10 minutes into the second half they listened to us, they did that, we scored off it, and then that was it.
So you look at Friday, we did talk about this one already. It was 1-0 after the 16th minute. You got that tying equalizing goal in the 41st. Siobhan Scott with an assist from Avery Rankin beat the keeper. I thought it was a really good goal. It was really nice to see Shiv get a goal in conference play and really kind of build her confidence there. And it was 1-1 at half, and at halftime you're thinking, we've got a shot. I know you told the girls you felt like this was probably the best team you brought over there. You really liked this matchup, and then, like we said, unfortunately, the second half happened. And despite the fact that, yeah, it was 5 goals and a half, I think you got to like the fact that the girls never gave up. They were still in it throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, the first half they done really well to keep the game as close as possible. Tactically they were switched on. They were working for each other. I think in the second half when that second goal went in, it just took the wind out of our sails a little bit there, and it made it a little bit more difficult, uphill battle, and they were rotating through, keeping everybody fresh, and they were just a little bit more hungry than us to get the result.
So you look at this upcoming week, this starts a little bit of an oddity in the schedule. We've talked about it several times before now. You've got 5 straight home matches coming up, and then you'll end the year with 4 straight road matches. We'll talk about them when they come up, but we'll talk about these 2 at home. You'll start this upcoming Tuesday. You host Gulf Coast at 5:30. What do you know about the Lady Bulldogs coming into this one?
Yeah, they're a really good, well-organised team, well-coached side. They got a lot better this year as well, but as you mentioned there, that home advantage for us is massive, especially with our field and teams travelling to us, so we're hoping that can play a little bit of a factor for us tomorrow. And again, just trying to pick up points here and there, focusing one game at a time, and every time you can get some points in this conference is a bonus.
Tomorrow night, I did just mention night, a little bit of a rarity for Co-Lin soccer to get to play in Stone Stadium at night. We don't get to do that very often, so 5:30 kickoff on that one. And then Friday, you'll host Itawamba. That at the time we're a little bit used to playing at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That partially because Itawamba's going to have to make about a 4-hour trip on the way back. But what do you know about that bunch coming in on Friday?
Yeah, similar, very well-coached side. They've got some really good talent going forward this year, but I feel like we've got a really deep squad as well that we can give them some problems and cause some issues. So hopefully we get some points away from this week. But like I said, the attention right now is just focusing on Tuesday, just one game at a time, and doing everything we can to make sure that we get some points on the board.
So then we turn our attention to the guys, and you look at a week when you outscored your opponents 10-6, and anytime you score 10 goals in a week, you think you like your chances of coming away with 2 wins, and really you probably feel like you should, even though against Pearl River there was some adversity. We'll talk about that one in a second, but we'll look at that East Miss match. You win this one 6-1, and you gave up that first goal, but once the guys got the equalizer, it kind of felt like that was all they really needed to see was one go in, and they just ran away with it from there on out.
Yeah, we've been talking to the boys all year about their reactions. When things go wrong, what are we going to do? What's our reaction going to be? And it was nice to see again that we went 1-0 down and reacted really well. I told the boys we can't keep doing that because it's making us a little nervous, but it was nice to see a good reaction where as soon as they scored, you could see the players on the field started motivating each other, and they came back real quick with some quick fire goals and got back in the game.
So you look at that one, we mentioned it, 1-0. East Miss scores in the 9th minute. It took just 4 minutes. Johan Bedoya scores an equalizer, 1-1 with an assist from Lucas Giacomini. Then 5 minutes later, you get the go-ahead goal, Alvaro de la Torre, with an assist from Francisco Miquel. And then that was in the 18th minute. And then in the 42nd minute, you got a 2-goal lead. Sebastian Narvaez would have probably been, I'd say, the goal of the match had it not been for the next one. But he takes a throw from Javion, brings it down, goes cross net with the volley. Just 3, I think, really class goals to get that lead.
Yeah, really good. And that's one thing that we've liked this year about going forward. You know, we scored a lot of goals from a lot of different areas and a lot of different goal scorers. And Seabass technically is really good. So I'm glad we put him in as a sub about 3 or 4 minutes right before then. And that's what we told him to do, just hang out at the back post and feed off any scraps. And he did exactly that. It came to him. He took it really well.
So then you're up 3-1 at half. You come out in the second half and you're really firing on all cylinders. You scored 3 goals in 6 minutes. And really, when you're looking at it, you know it probably could have been, you feel like this game could have been 11-1 or even more had you wanted to do that. But, you look at for the 48th minute, De La Torre gets his brace on, again, I'd say probably the goal of the match. A beautiful cross from Hudson. He makes that diving header and puts it in the net. Francisco Miquel in the 53rd minute with an assist from Johan. And then Johan gets his brace a minute later, and that makes it 6-1 with the assist from Hudson McIntyre. So, again, 3 goals in each half. That's really something you can really grow on.
Yeah, that's one thing we've not been worried about this year, scoring goals. We create a lot of chances, and we've done a lot of that in training as well, just giving the guys freedom where we don't want to restrict them. We want to feel like they've got the confidence when they get the ball to create opportunities themselves. They're all good enough to do so. So I think those guys going forward are enjoying the freedom that we're giving them and the intensity that we want them to play at.
So, and then you look at Pearl River. This one was a 5-4 loss. And I think in this one, you almost walk away. You want to say you are a little disappointed with the result, and maybe just a little bit in the performance as well too, because for the first 36 minutes of this match, when it was full strength, you were the better squad.
Yeah, it was a disappointing result on our end, but I think performance-wise, credit to the boys for playing with 10 men for 55 minutes is never easy, but they kept digging deep and we kept taking the go-ahead goal with 10 men. So it just shows a lot about our character there for the boys who were on the field. And like you said there, I think on a different day, if it was 11v11, I think it would be a different scoreline. But fair play to both teams. I thought it was a great game. Both teams done really well going forward.
Right. You look at this one, you actually had a 2-goal lead after the 27th minute. Alvaro de la Torre scores his 3rd goal of the week with an assist from Ethan Sharp. Johan Bedoya scores his 3rd goal of the week with Hudson McIntyre's 3rd assist of the week. You're up 2-0, 27th minute. They did score 1 in the 27th. It's 2-1 at that point. They scored the tying at 2-2. But then you had Braxton Williams at this point, in the 39th minute, you've been down to 10 men, and he just ripped a goal off an assist from MT, from Michael Turner. Probably one of the best goals we might see all season.
Yeah, I've loved Braxton's energy all year. He's done really good coming in. He's been one of our shining stars, basically, that's come in and surprised us. We've played him in a few different positions, and every time that we've played him in a few different positions, he stepped up, done exactly what we've needed, and brought a lot of energy to the team, and the boys love having him on the field as well. So a difficult time whenever it was 2-2 and not quite sure how the game was going to go. We were just trying to make it to halftime, and then we could fix a few things tactically. It was nice for him to take an early shot and get a good goal.
So you look at it, you're up 3-2 at halftime. What's the message to the guys at that point? I know part of it is you just got to hold on, but part of it is maybe find an extra one, get ahead 2 goals, and maybe see what you can do from then on out.
Yeah, we said that to the boys at halftime. We said we wanted to take a little bit of a gamble and try and go for it. We felt like there was still more goals in it for us, the way we were creating chances in the first half. And so we went a little attacking minded in the first few minutes to try and get that go-ahead goal. And then we told them that we were going to change it slightly and make a few subs and go defensive minded. But it was just always going to be difficult against their front four. They're such talented players, they're attackers. It was always going to be difficult for us playing that in the second half with 10 men.
You look at the scoring line. They scored the equalizer at the 53rd minute. Hudson McIntyre gets in on the scoring. He gets a go-ahead goal at the 62nd, but they tied it just 4 minutes later, 4-4, and then ultimately took the lead at 5-4. With the 73rd minute, they at the end thought you might have a chance. Hudson McIntyre was driving towards the goal. Unfortunately, the time ran out, and he wasn't able to get the shot off, but that's how it gets to 5-4. But you look at it, the guys have the same schedule that the girls have, five in a row here at home, starting with Gulf Coast. What do we know about the Bulldogs coming into this one?
Yeah, I think they're going to be really similar to Pearl River. I think they're going to be really good going forward. We've got to be better defensively. I told the boys you can't give up 5 goals in this conference and expect to win a game. We've got to be a lot tighter. That was our first real test from a defensive standpoint, and I think we've got to do a much better job on Tuesday against them because they've got just as many talented players as well. But yeah, I'm excited for another test. All these games are difficult, but I think that's what the boys like. We don't want to just turn up and just beat teams really easily and not play any competition. We want to strive for those best teams and see what we can get out of it.
So 7:30 kickoff on that one. And then, of course, we'll welcome in Itawamba on Friday. This was a game, you look at it last year, this was, I believe, a 0-0 draw, and a 0-0 draw on a play that Dylan Ngamalu, we still talk about that, probably one of the best defensive plays he had all year. But what do you know about that bunch coming into this one? I think probably a bunch that's got a little bit of confidence. I know they've been winning some games here, but what do you know about them coming in?
Yeah, they've got a lot better this year as well. Really athletic, organised team, and we're hoping that, it's always difficult driving 4 or 5 hours to a game, and it's always difficult for us when we go up there to get off a bus and try and play, and we're hoping that they're going to have the same issues when they come down here. But we just want to keep making sure that we're doing the right things on a daily basis, and we're creating a lot of chances going forward and scoring a lot of goals. Now we just got to make sure we can stop the other teams from scoring so we can get some results on the board.
So let's talk about your goalie play as well too. I think you're liking what you've seen out of Jamie. He was able to play about 59 minutes against East Miss, and Brennan played about 30 minutes against East Miss, and then of course he went the distance in that loss to Pearl River. But I think what you're seeing out of Jimmy for most of it, and Brennan when he's able to come in and clean up.
Yeah, they're doing really well. They're both pushing each other as well. Like I said last week, Brennan's done a really good job in the spring, and in preseason he's done a really good job. Jimmy came in and was really fighting for that spot, and there's been a good friendly competition between the two of them, and we just hope that they can both stay healthy and keep pushing each other to be better.
All right, so lots of good things happening for the Lady Wolves and Wolves. Again, up and down this past week, 1-1 for both teams, both getting wins over East Miss, both dropping games to Pearl River. They'll both be at home this week, as a reminder. Tuesday against Gulf Coast, 5:30, 7:30 p.m. kickoffs for those. Late night kickoffs for the Lady Wolves and Wolves. And then Friday hosting Itawamba at 1 and 3. Both of those in Stone Stadium. If you can't make it, we'll have the stream for you. I'll be on the call for both of those, and we'll talk to you on those if you can't make it. Stick with us through the break. Joining us after that is head football coach Glenn Davis. We'll talk about how the Wolves did over against the Bobcats and then look forward to their matchup for homecoming against the Bears this week.
At Copiah-Lincoln Community College, you'll find a family of instructors and staff who truly care about your success, and not to mention a really fun college experience too. Co-Lin was recently ranked #1 in the state for student success. So whether you need to start or finish your college degree, take classes on one of our 3 campuses or online, Co-Lin is the place to be.
Welcome back in. Thanks for sticking with us through the break. And as promised, joining me now is head football coach Glenn Davis. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Kim.
And Coach, obviously a week where you didn't get the outcome that you wanted. You lose to Jones 21-12 in a game where if you had some chances, despite maybe not the best output by your guys, but overall, your thoughts on the game?
Well, I thought defensively we played really hard in spurts. We were, had them under control. Offensively, I thought we did some good things. We just didn't put the ball in the end zone. We shot ourselves in the foot on both sides of the ball. Penalty-wise, were that kind of stopped drives or kept drives going. Kicking game-wise, I thought we, played fairly solid there. We gave up a return there at the end of the game. Was really the only return that we had given to them. But I thought the kids played extremely hard. We just have to play smarter, and we've got to score points offensively to give us a chance, because defensively we've been playing pretty well.
Yeah, Coach, you look at this one, and this is one of those when you look at the box score, you almost feel like you kind of let this one go away because you outgained them in yardage and both passing and rushing. You had more first downs than they did. You pretty much beat them everywhere it matters except for the scoreboard. So on this one, it's one where you kind of go, it happened, we got to move on, we got to forget it, we got to rebound.
Yeah, it's like you said, we won every category but the one that mattered, and that's what we told them yesterday in film. And it's like you said, that we still kind of control where we want to be. We just got to get to playing better. And playing complementary football, offense, defense, and special teams. And we've had 2 games where we haven't done some little things right and we've gotten beat. And so we've got be more consistent there. Our younger guys have got to grow up, and we're still making some mistakes with some young guys.
So you look at your impact players. We always talk about the quarterbacks. You saw both of them. Will Pritchard got a little bit less playing time in this one than Will Lloyd. Will Lloyd was 20 of 36 for 165 yards, no touchdowns or interceptions. Will Pritchard 2 of 5 for 39 yards and an interception. The interception really didn't hurt you. It was kind of late there in that first half. It did hurt you in the sense of it stopped a drive where you might could have tied it or taken the lead there. But overall, your thoughts on your quarterbacks? It looked like Will Lloyd was having a pretty solid game, kind of struggled there in the middle, maybe got a little banged up, and that's why Pritchard got some time. But your thoughts overall?
Well, I think the big thing for them is just to be consistent, and some of that is for the people around them got to be consistent. And sometimes they try to do a little bit too much, and it kind of gets us in trouble. The biggest thing is for them to execute and distribute the football to where it's got to go. And we missed a few things that we probably had some guys that were wide open that both quarterbacks could have hit. That one that I can think of off the top of my head probably would have been a big play during that same drive of when Will was in and throw the dig route, and he kind of pulled it down, and I think that was open. And there was a couple times that we could have hit some guys in the flats that we were catching them on that we missed, and one was a blitz, one was where the corners played really soft, and sometimes we have to take what they give us, and don't be greedy, and make them stop the short stuff, and then the deeper stuff will come open. And but for the most part, those guys made some plays, did some things, and we just got to keep working for consistency, and a lot of that's got to come around them offensively.
And another guy that really stood out for me, Trey Minor had over 100 total yards on the day, had 95 rushing yards on 12 carries, 11 receiving yards on 3 receptions as well too. So another solid game for him. No touchdowns in this one, but one receiving threat and receiving connection that really stood out to me was Jordan Richardson. It looked like him and Will were really gelling on that one. He led the unit, 9 receptions for 80 yards. So those two are really starting. It looks like they're coming into form and really propelling you.
Yeah, Jordan's a tremendous talent. The biggest thing with him is consistency. That's the big thing. He did make some plays for us. Caught the ball, took some blows. He's gotten better. It's just got to be one of those things where he missed some things that hurt too. And but he's a young guy, and like I say, our young guys have got to continue to grow and grow up a little faster than what they're used to maybe, but we're excited about what they bring to the table. That we just got to keep working. Also,
want to shout out a little bit to Humberto Rosales. He did miss an extra point, but did get a pair of 35-yard field goals. Also went toe-to-toe with arguably probably one of the best punters in the nation. Had a 42.8-yard average, a long of 58, and did really well in the kickoff game as well too. And then, of course, on the defense, you had 2 DBs that really led you. Doug Nelson had 7 tackles. DJ Hill-Smith had 6. Ricardo Butler Jr. had 5 and a forced fumble. Had a couple of sacks from Lonnie Smith. So another really solid day from your defensive unit.
Yeah, Humberto's gotten better and better. And, the one extra point he missed is we had pressure up the middle, and I think the guy got a piece of it. And, we can't give up those plays because, when your extra point field goal team is supposed to be automatic, especially extra points. And, you don't want to have to be going for 2 and getting ready to go for 2. And, that just adds more stress to your football team when you got to do those kind of things. Defensively, like I say, we played good. We gave up two big plays in the passing game, and one was against the blitz and one was there at the end of the game. If we make both of those plays, it could change things, because I know one was a third down. I think both of them were third down plays. So, we just got to, we're putting a lot of pressure on our defense offensively because we're not scoring a lot of points right now and against good people. And so, that we just got to keep battling and keep plugging away offensively and keep playing hard defensively and just don't give them any plays.
Defensive unit that, again, we've talked about them all year. They gave up just 39 yards rushing. Quick math, that's about through 4 games, you're giving up about 40 yards rushing per game. Defense holds that. You're going to find a way to win a lot of ball games, even if you're not scoring as much as you would like. We look at the scoring summary. You kind of look at the first drives, and it was kind of emblematic of kind of what the whole game went. You come out, kick, ran an onside kick. I think a lot of people might ask why in that situation, but I think it was the thing where y'all saw on tape, maybe their offense hadn't been really firing on all cylinders, and you thought, hey, if we trust our defense, even if we give them a short yard, they're not going to find a way to score. Unfortunately, they did, and then you get the ball, and that drive results in a fumble deep in Jones territory, if I'm not mistaken. You feel like if you could have gone down there and tied the game up, it really would have shifted the momentum.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the opening kickoff, we had seen on film that they had nobody from the hash mark out, and we had kicked the same onside kick twice against them the year before. And so, we just didn't – Humberto was probably the worst play he had of the night, where he didn't kick the ball like he had all week in practice, and he kind of pulled the trigger on it a little bit and kicked it right to the guy. And so that was a big play, and that was on me. I take responsibility for that call. And, we get the return – we get the onside. We're going to be – inside the 40-yard line going in, getting ready to score. And then, like I said, defensively, they have a short field, so they score. And then we have a great drive. We're running the ball down the field and throwing it, and then we running back fumbles the football. And, just stuff like that we just kind of find ways to shoot ourselves in the foot right now. We just got to grow up and not make those kind of plays, make better plays.
And despite all of that, your defense still hung in there. It's still only 7-0 throughout the remainder of the first quarter, and it really felt like our offense, if they just could have found a way to maybe get a couple more connections, could have found a way to score, really could have turned the tables. But you look in the second quarter, you did get that touchdown. Q Tillman powers the ball in from 3 yards out. Almost kind of feels like having a little bit of a cheat code when you're able to go out there and give it to a guy who listed as a tight end at 5'11", 225, played a little bit of quarterback in high school, but it's definitely a weapon when you can go out there and use him like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's brought another part to our offense in the short yardage and goal line area, and he made a great play. It was pretty much, him by himself, because the snap was low to the right, and he grabbed it and just kind of ran over a couple guys to get it in the end zone. And
unfortunately, Jones was able to take a 14-6 lead, had a DB fall down on a big, long 53-yard pass. But again, you're only down 14-6 at halftime, and that's because, again, this was when Pritchard threw that interception, kind of stalled out your momentum. What's the message to the guys at halftime, knowing, hey, we're not out of this, a couple of plays go our way, we're right back in it?
Yeah, I mean, I just told them at halftime we needed another gear, and let's find another gear to find a way to get stops, get plays in the, scores, that kind of stuff. And, the biggest thing for us was, the number of possessions is going to get shorter in the second half because of what they do offensively. And, they're not a big throwing football team. But I thought, like I say, we were right there to get some stuff done. We had 2 drives where we got field goals. If, instead of field goals, we'd got touchdowns, it probably would have been a different outcome.
You just mentioned that in the third quarter, midway through, you get a field goal from Humberto Rosales, his first of 35 yards, makes it 14-9. And in the fourth quarter, late 5:50 left, you get another one, 14-12, and you're sitting there thinking, if we can just find a stop, even if we go down to the field and get another field goal attempt, that gives us a chance to win the game. Unfortunately, Jones marches down the field, takes a 21-12 lead, and then forces a fumble on the next drive, or on the next possession there on a sack by Will Loy. So, didn't go the way that you wanted to, but again, you got to look at it and go, we had opportunities, we've just got to take better chances there.
We do. I mean, we had every opportunity to win the game, and it's just a play here or there, either side of the ball, that we could have done something better. We just got to figure out those things and be more disciplined and be more consistent with our play. And I think, if we do that, like I say, it's a different outcome.
And now you turn your attention to this upcoming Thursday, a game that, not only is it your rival in Southwest, Bears are coming into town, but it's also a game where you don't want to call it that, but it's got a little more distractions than normal because it is the homecoming game. But you're going to have a huge home crowd. You get to play them here. You get to play your rival. But what do you know about the Bears heading into this one?
Well, Coach Collins does a good job with them. They're going to be well coached and play extremely hard. They're explosive offensively, defensively. They've played extremely hard. The big thing is that if you don't come out ready to play hard and play for the start of the ball game, you can give them every opportunity to feel like they can win a ball game. And we've got to start fast and find a way to finish it at the end.
So obviously looking forward to having all of our people return home for homecoming as well too. We'll have the homecoming court presentation during halftime and all the homecoming festivities leading up to it, the day of game. You got the Sports Hall of Fame presentation, all those kind of things. Check Co-Lin.edu, CoLinAthletics.com. All of our socials will have that schedule for you. Lots of good things happening in Co-Lin Athletics. Again, football dropping one on the road, 21-12 against Jones. They're welcoming the Bears of Southwest in on Thursday. 6:30 kickoff at Stone Stadium. If you can't make it, we'll have the stream for you at CoLinAthletics.com. But also, as a reminder, men's and women's soccer also at home this week. They're hosting Gulf Coast on Tuesday, 5:30, 7:30 p.m. kickoffs, and then hosting Itawamba on Friday, 1 and 3 kickoffs. Until then, we'll have all those streams for you. Check all of our social medias. We'll give you all the information, every game that we play this week. We'll talk to you next week. I'm Kevin Kaiser, Sports Information Coordinator here at Co-Lin. Thanks for tuning in.